who is crazy enough to leave Google? Me. I had nothing to, let's say, complain about, but this was not my purpose. What is the thing that I can do the best? It's to make people dance.
It's a full-time job.
I'm not made for numbers. I'm made to be creative.
The second name of every mother is like the feeling of guilt.
Time management.
Hello everyone, welcome to the new show. My name is Anna and here I'm chatting with the incredible women I know about the life transitions we all go through. And I'm really happy to have Cristina on this show as my first guest.
Ciao Anna, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm a bit nervous since this is a pure experiment and our listeners and viewers should know that. I've never recorded anything on the video in English, and English is also not our first language, but I really think that these stories are worth being told, and these things are worth being heard. That's why we're doing that.
Thank you for having me. Also, for me, English is not my main language. As you can hear from my accent, I'm Italian. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you with our, accents in English.
Amazing. So when I was thinking of inviting Cristina as my first guest, I thought that it would be amazing to speak with you about boosting self-confidence as a woman, as an artist, as an entrepreneur, and as a mother, since you combine everything in one thing, which is called Cristina Lazic. So first question to you, if my audience doesn't know anything about you, how would you introduce yourself? Like, what is important here?
Yeah, well, so as mentioned earlier, my name is Cristina Lazic, but I'm Italian. Lazic is a typical Serbian surname because my husband is Serbian. Right now, I'm a DJ, producer, and I'm also the founder of a project called Lazic, which is spelled the same way as my DJ surname. And in French, Lazic stands for La Musique, which means the music. So I thought it was a very nice way to kind of start a music project and call it in a way that was music related. And what is Lazic about? Lazic is about a record label because, most DJs as they grow, they start their own record labels. And then there is also a marketing academy for DJs and producers. And I'm also starting to do showcases and events with this project. And also more about me. I'm from Milan, Italy. Yeah, and I've always been a very international person. I lived in various cities. I lived in London, I lived in Miami, in Barcelona. And, that made me very international. And that's why, as a DJ as well, I've always been an international DJ, not like a DJ, London-based DJ, mainly doing gigs in London, or Milan-based DJ, doing gigs in Milan. So now I'm traveling, all over the world. And I'm here in Dubai for 12 hours, basically.
Yes, we went to Rome. Christina's gig yesterday, which was amazing.
And I'm flying back to London today, and that's my sort of life.
A lot of people perceive the DJ profession, the DJ job, as a hot girl who has the earphones, right?
Yeah.
And is dancing with the crowd and basically making the crowd smile or something like that. Sometimes she might do this or do that. Like, what is actually DJing?
Well, right now, especially since COVID, there has been a boom of the electronic music scene. Like I think some of the most streamed songs are from electronic music. You can see the kind of music phenomenon. I don't know if you know this track called Move by Rampa, kind of music. Anyway, it is one of the songs that was the hit of the summer, and it's electronic music. So, a few years back, you didn't have electronic music as the most streamed music genre, even on Spotify. Now, electronic music is literally booming, and with that, the idea of being a DJ has also boomed. So you have a lot of DJs, and there is a saturation of DJs. And with that, it's normal that you have the talented ones and the ones that want to do it in a more underground and serious way, and the ones that do it mainly for fame and for showing that they do something, It's the same as with the football players, There are those who do it putting a lot of effort and those that do it mainly to show off and say, I'm a football player. It's really the same for me. So I know that now the perception of people towards the job of a DJ has shifted a lot into the hot girl.
The influencer.
Not even touching,
Yeah,
the console.
Exactly. Yes.
But that's not my style. So normally for me, DJs should tell a story through their music and bring people on a journey. And that's where I see the real art of DJing and less the show off. So that's what I'm trying to bring with my music, by the way. And which sometimes cannot be appreciated that much because it may feel like too researched. Exactly as in the same way as you see a piece of art and you're like, I don't understand it, but then maybe there is something behind it that people that really appreciate and know and have the culture about it understand. So it's, for me, the same with the
But sometimes it's not about
music.
understanding all the small details. It's about how you feel about it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about transmitting vibes. And as I mentioned, telling a story. Same applies to the music I make. Like my tracks, those that have been made with a story behind it. Like I have a few tracks that I made in collaboration with singers, and we were like brainstorming about the topics and building the kind of, lyrics together. When there is a story behind it, people perceive it. And it applies also to when I play music. It is crazy. Like I know that I'm connecting with the people whenever I'm playing music and there is a story.
Okay.
Sometimes it happens that I may not be in the right mood or it may not be the right type of situation and there is a bit of, again, something off. But most of the times it's about, creating that connection with the people and it's all about transmitting some vibes, as you said.
It's all about transmitting the vibes, but where do you get the inspiration from?
So, looking for music comes from anything. Like, I could be sitting in a bar and I hear a song that I like and I'm like, oh, maybe this is something that I could remake or reinterpret, for example. Or maybe, like yesterday, I played also with these other two guys that for me are masters, and maybe I listened to their own sets on SoundCloud, which is a platform for broadcasting DJ mixes, and I'm always listening to new music, and I'm always looking for new music. So it's about like educating yourself and just selecting what you like, but there it's about creativity. So normally I prepare a playlist of music, but I never follow it by the book. I let my inspiration flowing and I improvise, and I follow the flow that my something special is telling me to follow, and I follow it throughout the journey, and then it transmits certain feelings to people. So I'm a big fan of improvising, of coming prepared with an idea of roughly what kind of music you will play, but then improvise and let the creativity flow.
Wow. I just realized that we're actually colleagues because you say that it's important to tell stories via music. I do that via podcasting.
Of course.
And it's all about telling stories. But why do you think it's important? Why does it matter at all?
Well, because that's how you get to the soul of people, and there is some sparkle, in my opinion. Like I mentioned Apple. Why am I so in love with the Apple brand? And why would you buy an iPhone versus buying any other type of phones? Why do you pay
one frame it any other type of phone?
The Apple is selling a story, It's all about that attachment that you get to an iPhone because you are in love with the story that having an iPhone is giving you. So the same applies to any product that you're launching, including music. I'm sorry to look at it as a product, but it is,
It is a product,
As a podcast is a product, as an artwork is a product. So in the same way, if you tell a story, then you can connect. And it's something that is a bit unexplainable for me. I don't know if you watched the movie by Pixar, Soul.
Yes, I did.
So you know
It's
that
a good one.
There is the guy that when he's improvising with the piano and he does jazz, something happens. And if people haven't watched it, they should watch it, in my opinion. It is something that is unexplainable for me. It is some, incredible feeling that kind of kicks in when you are producing and creating something. And that's what gets to the souls of other people if you are able to generate it. So it's about frequencies again and energies and connecting with others. And I feel that the same happens with music. And that's what makes a good DJ a good DJ versus the influencer DJ. The influencer DJ is just there to show off and increase the amount of followers on their social media or promote something, some brands, etc. The real DJ is able to transmit some emotions through their music. So, for a few years, like 7-8 years, I worked in parallel between tech job and this DJ world until when last year I took the leap of faith and I decided to do DJ full time.
But I think this is a really interesting topic because how many years have you spent in tech?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
So it's a full-time job, a corporate career, which was actually a success. You were working at Apple in London, then Google in London, then you moved back to Italy and were working at Google Italy. And for a lot of people, working in tech in these companies is like the
ambition,
the ambition, the peak of the summit, the idea of a success. And I want to ask you, how did it feel inside? Because at some point when we just met, I had an idea that you wanted something creative. Yes. And then I realized that actually you're quite enjoying the corporate stuff that you're having. So I was thinking that maybe you changed the attitude towards it and you were like, okay, I'm going to stick to the corporate career and this is going to be my hobby.
Well, actually, I was actually enjoying a lot what I did, both at Apple and Google. And one thing that makes me proud is the fact that whenever I left, my previous chapters, I was actually crying because I was living something that was nice. I was not living toxic environments of things that I was feeling, oh my God, I'm really not feeling comfortable here. So my job at Apple was like just a year or so, because then my manager from Apple moved to this startup called Nest, which was then acquired by Google, and that's how I kind of entered Google through my previous manager.
The smart house.
Yes. And that was like, I was really, sad of leaving Apple, because for me, Apple is, an amazing company when it comes to branding, storytelling, and, Steve Jobs, the vision, like for me was really amazing. Still, I moved to Nest, and that's where I actually feel like I learned so much, because it was a startup within a big company with the potential to grow a lot, which is what happened in the years after. And then after, went to, moved internally within Google, also within Google UK, I moved to Google Italy. And I always had jobs that were making me happy, perfect work-life balance. My managers were great. Like the last manager I've had, she's following me to many of my gigs. She just booked their flights to come to listen to me in LA for New Year's Eve. So we are in perfect relationship. So honestly, I had nothing to, let's say, complain about. But I felt that this was not my purpose. I was like, I can do this job very well, but I cannot do it in the best way. And what is the thing that I can do the best? It's to make people dance, because I've always had this talent of understanding the right type of music for making people enjoy. When I was a teenager, I was making music for guys that didn't love me back, and I was also making a lot of CDs for compilations for my friends, and everyone has a CD of mine in their home. Like whenever they move, they're like, I found your CD here, blah blah blah. Then Spotify came and people started getting married, and that's when everyone was asking me to make the Spotify playlist for their wedding, to give a mood to whoever was doing the music curation. So people were calling me the DJ, and it's something that I've always had, to be able to create the right vibe and associate music to a situation. And I feel that without music, there is no life, because music has, for me, is everything. So, when I was on maternity, actually, that's when I started doing a DJ course, because I needed to take away my brain from, motherhood duties, which at the beginning, motherhood can be very, very challenging. You're sleep deprived. And personally, for me, it was a, very tough moment, because I'm a perfectionist, and to have to, to have to raise, to have to raise a kid, I was feeling like, oh my God, am I doing things right? So I was very stressed. And okay, I did things okay, I would say, but I needed something
which
to
is already perfect for 90% of us, yes.
I was like, I need a hobby. So I started this DJ course, and when I started the DJ course, all those feelings that I had when I was playing the piano and making music, they resurfaced, and I was like, music is calling me. I mean, what can I do, I know that I need to do something related to music. And the more I was playing music, even at house parties or at informal places, always people were telling me, "You're so good, you have a talent." While in my jobs at Apple and Google, I was getting compliments, but at the end of the day, there was the performance review telling me, "Okay, you have achieved this, but you could." There was always that but. The thing that was making me feel like I was not 100% good at that. Maybe I was 99%, but not 100%. While with music, there was always this good vibe around it, and I felt that without putting effort, I was just doing what I think I'm made for. So throughout the years, I started doing music a bit more professionally. Clearly, at that point, I had a daughter and a full-time job, so I didn't have much time. But with a lot of discipline, I started, first of all, training to perfect my skills as a DJ, and then working on my branding, on my name. I had to kind of build everything. And then I started playing around, and people were like calling me. One friend of mine from Milan gave me a chance to play at Armani, which is this club in Milan, which is very, popular. And it was like, "Come here to play and open for free," of course. Of course, I went there, open. It went very well, and then people from London saw it, and then they started calling me in London, and that's how things started happening. And there, I think I have applied my marketing skills, and I've, tried to, I was doing product marketing for iPhones or Google Home or Nest, and I was like, this time I need to do marketing with me. So it was a different type of
regarding
exercise.
myself as a product.
Yes, I was like treating myself as a product, and I was like, I need to step out of my comfort zone, even if I feel ashamed of showing myself DJing even at home. I need to do that. And the more I started doing it, the more people started noticing me, and the more I got support by especially women. And I realized that there is this kind of support network of women who are sharing the same fear of judgment, or fear of stepping out of the comfort zone. So that gave me a lot of energy. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to continue. And then slowly, fast forward, let's go until 2020. I started DJing in 2016. Sophia was 6 months old. So 2020, COVID came. And that was, as you know, a moment where, everything stopped. So all the clubs closed. There was a massive, moment of crisis for also the music industry. But that's when I was forced to do what I hadn't at the time to do until then, that is to start making music, start making electronic music. So I took my computer and I started learning. I took a lot of, webinars. I was calling other producers, telling them I want to learn how you do. And that's how I started also doing the production. And again, long story short, basically I started making my music, and then it was noticed by some people in, some DJs who are kind of established, especially this DJ called Damian Lazarus. And he kind of decided to give me a chance, and things have been going very, fast since then. And now I am, touring the world, etc. And last year, I decided to leave Google. And I know you said that's the dream job for most people. And I know that that's a dream job, because honestly, it is a dream job, but it was not the job for me. 100%. I could do it, but it was not my purpose.
And not your dream.
And not my dream, yes. So that since then I have left my, this corporate life, and a lot of good things have happened actually. So, it was worth it.
Let's talk about defining your purpose and your dream, because a lot of people actually struggle with that. And sometimes you feel that, I don't feel 100% happy, but I don't really know what to do.
Yeah.
And how do you define your life purpose?
Yeah, so first of all, I am lucky because I have a passion. I've always loved music, and I didn't, this passion was music, but I started playing classical music with the piano, and then it evolved into more pop music when I was a teenager. But then when I moved to London when I was 18, the first time I moved to London, that's when I discovered electronic music. And I was like, wow, there is something amazing about this. It's really one of the things that I like. And then when I started DJing, I was like, that's it. It's that angle of music, which is one of my passions, and that's what makes me happy. So I found it when I was 30 years old. So first of all, it's something that may come at any moment in your life, when you least expect it. And me, it came during my maternity with the DJ course. I knew that I always felt comfortable in this world of, DJs and music. I always remembered all the DJs, all the, names of the tracks. So I had it in me, but I realized that I had it when I was 30 years old already. So,
which is amazing that you say that, because a lot of people feel really lost because they feel, I'm already 28 or already 29 and I still have no idea what I want to do in life. And I actually spent a month in Oxford, and I was in June, and I was listening to one of the public talks, and there was my total crush, Toto Wolff, the Mercedes guy. He's like the CEO of Mercedes Team Formula One. And I really loved his quote, like, it's okay to be lost. And it's okay to redefine your passion. It takes time.
It takes time, and it could come at any moment. My advice is, if you have certain passions, try to, carve out time to nurture them, because our lives are so busy, and everyone, at least in our environment, we're used to be in environments where people are constantly traveling, bombarded with
very
technology.
Efficient. Yes.
Yeah, it is busy. And also, especially when you become parents, you have very little time, but it is important to carve out the time for nurturing your passions, because based on, anything, like even a course, your purpose may arrive.
It's not only about finding the time, it's also about, switching on the observer in you and kind of like start noticing things that make you happy. Because when you were telling your story about the music, you were like, I felt that it was right. I felt, and it's all about feeling, not about
it's about,
doing.
Electronic music, when you're composing music, you are seeing, the frequencies, right? It's all about the frequencies and the energy that you transmit. So if you put yourself in the mindset that you want to find that, you'll find it. I really believe that. And that's the same as when I decided to leave the safe corporate job and go into music. Suddenly things started coming. It's like as if I was attracting them. So it's the same as, with finding love, with finding your purpose. If you put yourself in the mindset that, yes, I want to put myself out there. I could have been on maternity, just focused on maternity 100%, not dedicating myself that me time that I really feel I needed it. And that's good that I took the time once per week to do this DJ course, a couple of hours. And that's what changed my life. And if I hadn't given myself the chance to do that, it would have not happened, and I would not be, here in Dubai now, performing as a DJ. So I think that, first of all, if you have a passion or many passions, try to, nurture them. Go to courses, go to meetups, experiences with other people.
And open towards the world and opportunities.
Open, yes. I have a friend, Nora, from Italy. She's also a DJ, and she's always telling me, you are opening the doors. So I look at this metaphor of me opening the doors. But it's true. Because, it's all about putting yourself out there and allowing the doors to open.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What if the people who will listen to us and watch that are trying to open the doors, but they are closed? And, like you're opening one door, closed. You're opening another one, closed. Should I continue finding the other doors? Should I just stop and kind of admit that maybe the doors do not exist in this house?
What do you think is my answer? Knowing me. Well, I think that once I actually listened to a podcast that was saying that what is success? What are successful people? And the success is defined by people who are stubborn enough to not give up. So, you don't know many closed doors I got before some, key doors open, very, small, number compared to the big number of doors that got shut in my face. But then the meaningful ones and the ones that are meant to open. And the same applies to looking for the job. When I look for the job at Apple, I remember, we were together at LSE. I was almost,
we were sending all the CVs everywhere.
CVs and a lot of jobs that honestly were not as good as the one that I finally got at Apple. No, sorry, you're
underqualified, you're overqualified.
Yeah, the typical email, we received a lot of, applications and you were unsuccessful. 1, 2, 3, like 100. And I always say that, out of 100 people you even contact in music, 98 will not, even answer. 2 will answer because they're the nice ones. 1 will say thank you, but no. And then the last one will say thank you and yes. So, you need to be ready to have those 98% yes of rejections to have that 1% that, opens up and is the door that opens. So I'm sorry.
No, there are 2 phrases that I like here is like, you always already have a no, so try to make it a yes.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. Another thing is like a no today doesn't mean a no tomorrow.
100%, yes. I was playing last night here in Dubai with, these 2 guys from the Romanian scene. The Romanian DJs are amazing, by the way. And there is this festival, which is my favorite festival, called Waves, which is happening, once per year in Romania and once per year in Spain. And it's very difficult to get on the lineup. And, I finally got on the lineup this year after 4 years that I was working towards that goal. So first of all, I could see that happen at some point. So my advice is also to kind of imagine yourself at some point somewhere. And just the fact that you have that idea that it's going to happen is going to help you progress towards it. And then, to arrive to getting booked there, like I got so many rejections on many fronts, and I had to do a lot of small baby steps that allow me to get there. And, it's not that, I try, once to apply for Google, I'm going to get the job. I mean, you may be lucky, don't get me wrong. There are those people, and I know some of them are like, how can they get it? Actually, maybe because their mindset is so good that they attract immediately.
I am meant for this job.
Yeah, I mean, they're just attracted, I really believe it's like that. So if you start, and I'm a Virgo, so I tend to be pessimistic, but if you change your mindset in a positive way, like, I see myself playing at Amnesia one day, and I could see that, and then it happened this year. But now I see myself playing at Amnesia at a better slot. So hopefully that's going to happen at some point. So it's really about like, visualizing things and eventually making them happen, but with all the hard work and the rejections in the meantime. So it's about not giving up. And that's one thing that I'm trying to help other, DJs with, because a lot of them lack self-confidence, as I did, and I still do lack self-confidence. Last night we improvised this back-to-back with these 2 Romanian guys, and I was like, I'm not good enough to play with them. Even last night, I was thinking I'm not good enough. And then, it went smoothly. So it's okay to have that, element of lack of self-confidence, but I'm trying to help other, especially artists and DJs, to not let that make you quit or give up.
Yeah. When you said the word success, I like Churchill's definition that success is traveling from one failure to another one with the least lose of faith.
Yes.
And enthusiasm, something like that.
It is like that. Because now people, even my auntie yesterday, she wrote me, she told me, I'm organizing a Christmas gathering with all the cousins. I would like to, but we need to know if our star, referring to me, is free. And I was like, why people perceive me as a star? I just got rejected here and there. It's still happening a lot. There are a lot of things that are pain points for me. But people from outside probably see, certain type of trajectory, which is, going towards a certain way. But for me, I'm just jumping from one field to the other.
Which is a good reminder, because we always compare ourselves to the successful versions that we know about the people we know. Mm-hmm. And we never know what's going inside or like what is actually happening. And once you're like, okay, she's also like having rejections. She's also, kind of
I am having
failures.
A lot of rejections, and I'm having a lot of moments. This year I had 2 moments. I had January and then just last month where I consider them as dark moments. January was because nothing had started picking up properly, and I had left Google since just over 6 months. So, 6 months after you do the kind of a business review.
Yes.
And I'm like, what has happened in the last 6 months? Okay, certain things had happened, but the big goals had not been achieved yet. So I had a moment where I was like, maybe I've done, I made the wrong choice.
Wrong door.
why did I leave a safe job for this? It's not picking up. So that was January. And then just after, a lot of big bookings came in, like Amnesia opening, Ushuaia, Ibiza, like a lot of big things started happening. So the mood went up. Then amazing summer full of touring and a lot of big first time, in big clubs and festivals. And then October came, and there was another moment of darkness for me. I was like,
what helps
no.
you go through these dark moments? Because I'm
Yeah.
asking that because a lot of people actually sometimes you only have like a month and a month. Some people have years.
Yes.
And sometimes it feels like it's never gonna end. I'm never gonna succeed. Like it's just like not working. But
Yeah. So I have my strategies. First of all, I try to keep healthy. Like I remember that when I had this October month, going to the gym regularly and eating very healthy and trying
paying
to keep
attention to your body.
Yes. And maybe you don't see the results immediately, but it really helps to keep sane, at least to me, because I am a very healthy person. So I was like, this I need to kind of, feel that I am keeping in shape, that, my mind is okay. Of course, my mind was not okay. It was like overthinking.
But your mind is also a result of how you feel.
Yes.
So it's very important to pay attention there.
Yeah, so for me, the basics are to keep, to take care of your body and your mind as much as possible. I have had some moments where I maybe was like, I removed social media for a couple of weeks to avoid that kind of comparing thing that is
there is always
terrible.
somebody to compare with.
Yeah, so I actually
better.
removed social media for a bit, and also social media, there are a lot of bad news from the world non-stop, and that was creating me a bit of anxiety. So I'm not, ashamed of saying that. So I was like, let's remove this stuff and let's focus on me. And I started working a lot on, on my label projects, on my own production projects, and suddenly things started picking up again. So I know that this career is not going to be like, Google, like you're always in the job and then you have the performance review, either good or bad, and then you're getting the job.
Yeah.
Here, it's literally like that. You may have a month that you feel like, you're really like living the dream, and then a month that may be a bit, lighter and darker. Yeah, so
there is a phrase, I'm not really sure about the English translation of it, but like everything passes by, so this shall pass. Something like that.
Yeah.
But bad moments also pass. And
Exactly.
Then there is the sunset, the sunrise,
Yeah.
the sunset, which is followed by the sunrise.
No, it's true. It's true. And I actually think that the moments that have been shaping me the most are the ones that are the hard ones. It's part of life. And also I become much more creative when I go through, I was composing music when I was, not loved back by guys. It means that I had something to express connected to this sadness or sorrow or whatever. Same applies now. Honestly, I've just gone through this harsh period. The last 3-4 weeks, I've been so productive with music creation. Mm-hmm. As honestly, I don't remember a time when I was so productive. And I think it's the result of these feelings, of bad feelings. I don't even know how to kind of describe them. But like a bit of disorientation, it's not that people may think, she has clear ideas. No, I don't have clear. I also don't know where I'm going, by the way. I'm just doing it. Mm-hmm. So I know that I have my purpose, and I know that I'm good at making music and making people dance. But I have a lot of moments where I am also feeling a bit disorientated. And I think that's totally human and normal. And it actually helps with at least me, with the creative side of things.
Mm-hmm. I just had an idea that while defining your purpose, it's important to notice how you feel about it or about something, but also maybe start listening to what people say. Because when you were telling your story, people were telling you like, we love your music, do the playlist. Because sometimes it's very difficult, especially in these harsh periods, to think of yourself in a good way. And
so
to notice
true.
your superpowers.
Yes.
But people who are kind to us sometimes give us this,
It is true. And as a Virgo, I tend, if I have a bad moment, I kind of disappear from the world. Like I turn into a very silent,
Yeah,
person,
I'm not a Virgo, but I'm doing that as well.
Okay, so it's something that many people have.
Yes.
But
Virgos and other people, yes.
I find comfort in talking with selected people that I know I can show my, vulnerable side with.
Yes.
And I tell them, look, I'm having a terrible month. I feel like, lost, or I feel like I'm not accomplished, not accomplished. I feel like I'm not successful, even if my auntie may see me as successful through Instagram, So I feel it helps me to talk about my
Yeah,
feelings and not keep them inside. Yeah.
I think that's a really good advice because a lot of people close up and it feels actually very lonely.
Yes.
Especially when you're trying so hard to define your passion, to, I don't know, to do something you love, and then you feel alone.
Yes, but that's a sentiment that most people have, especially now because there is so much happening and we see
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
For me, the detox from social media, every now and then is necessary. And also
I like
not being
this
too
advice
much
as well.
on technology, despite being a big fan of technology. I mean,
Yes, you've been a technology
I've been-
advocate
yeah,
for a decade, yes.
Yes, but still it helps to kind of take a, step
Yeah.
back every now and then.
But you know what is interesting? Like, you have had a corporate career, and some people also have it, but you quit and you decided to go for a full-time job as a DJ. There is a different path. I think the CEO of Goldman Sachs,
Goldman Sachs, yeah.
right? Yes.
Yeah.
So he is the CEO. Is he still the CEO?
I think he's still the CEO.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he is a DJ who continues to be in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Like, from your point of view, like, when is it time to leave?
Yeah.
When is it worth it?
Yes. I mean, it
because
depends on
sometimes
your
for some
life.
people,
Yeah.
like for some people, it's not even worth it sometimes, you
Yeah.
know, and they get actually very disappointed when they have something as a full-time job they've been dreaming about.
Well, it depends on how you feel. Because I came to the point last year in May, a few things happened. So first of all, I felt like I can't continue with these rhythms because at the time I was still living in Milan with our daughter, and Marco, my husband, was in London traveling back and forth for work. So I was alone, taking care of Sofia, and I was working 5 days per week with Google, and then almost every weekend traveling
Yes.
for gigs. And then on top of that, I had to produce, and I wanted to start my own music project. I was like, I don't have the time to do that. So how do I do it? I think I need to kind of risk it. And then at the same time, last year, there was a big moment of, let's call it crisis for the tech world. Suddenly, after 10 years of amazingness and total charm, you see, companies laying off people. So I started seeing that typical, situation that happened also with other industries like, finance and other industries, where after a period of, charm and growth, suddenly things start to normalize. So, companies start cutting jobs, etc. So I was like, I have witnessed this growth of the tech industry during the last 10 years, and now it's not that amazingly amazing anymore. It's still amazing, but not as it used to be. So, that was a time when I was reflecting a lot. And I was like, what shall I do? Shall I stay in an industry that for sure is going to pick up again, but it's not that wowness that I saw at the beginning? Or shall I risk it and just try to do something totally different? And I consulted with my husband, and I want to acknowledge that having him who is a risk taker helped me a lot, because I've been a risk-averse person. I always like my, safety net and stability. But consulting with him, he told me, try, let's just, what do you have to lose? You can always go back to the corporate world.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, let's. I remember talking with these two girlfriends of mine. We had a coffee in Milan, and they were both pregnant. And, I was talking, Google is laying off people, and, they're actually accepting people. That's how it happened for me in Italy. They were accepting people to volunteer to leave the company. And I was like, Google is going through this kind of, laying off period, and they're accepting volunteers to leave. And one of them, without letting me finish, she said, who is crazy enough to leave Google? And I'm like, me. I was like, actually, I think I'm going to be one of those volunteers. And I remember, of course, pregnant.
Yes.
When you're pregnant, you only think about, delivering this baby. She has her, very stable job in fashion. And I don't think that it was in her mind to leave her job, right? So I saw her face, like thinking, this girl is totally nuts. And I felt totally nuts, to be honest. But I was like, I'm just going to do it. And then if it doesn't work for any reason, I mean, somehow I'm going to restart.
Yeah.
But
so, I want to highlight on that here the importance of being surrounded by people who can relate to that and who can give you support you need. Because sometimes when, as we said, you feel really lonely and you like are kind of, I don't know, making this leap of faith, right? Making this decision which you're not even sure of. Like being surrounded by people who are there for you actually really helps.
Yes, I mean, my husband was the person who supported me the most. And I also had a few other people that I considered at least visionary enough to understand what was the reason behind my choice.
Okay.
And those people were the ones who showed the support. By the way, you were one of those. Yes, and it's always those, few people that I know that in front of, when you are
I'm happy to be among the visionaries.
Of course, you are, come on. Well, you know that you are. And when they're, most people, they're happy with, having their normal life. The truth is that I was not happy with having my normal life. And my normal life was already an exceptional life.
Yeah.
Working for Google, dream job, international family, traveling the world. So it was already, I have to admit, pretty exceptional.
Yeah.
What can I do if it was not making me happy 100%? Yeah.
But I think it's about the point of discomfort, because some people can't live with this discomfort inside them.
Yes.
Some people say everybody has this. I just have to continue doing what I do because no one is happy 100%.
Yeah. I mean, the truth is that honestly right now I'm happy 100%. Okay, some things could go better and I have certain goals to achieve.
Yeah.
But so many people are seeing me and they're telling me, you look so relaxed. And honestly, before, there was always a bit of an element of darkness inside here that I couldn't understand what it was due to. And I know that it was related, as I said, not to having a terrible job because my job was great, not to having a terrible manager because my manager was great. It was
having
just
something which was wrong?
Something that was wrong, something that was off.
Yeah.
And it was the fact that I was not doing what was making me happy 100%. And now I'm doing that. And
I'm so happy you made this decision.
It makes me happy. And again,
yes,
I have moments of darkness,
We all do, yeah.
Yeah, so just that I feel, just on the way here, I was in the cab and I was looking, I was like, I am in Dubai, next week I am in Istanbul, then I'm going to New York. I'm traveling the world doing music. For some people, it's total nonsense. I have a lot of friends who are mothers and they told me, I don't know, you're doing it, you must be so stressed from all the traveling. I'm like, actually I love it, and because I like that I can combine, really, I have my family time during the week, calmer life, and then I have these moments of crazy traveling and meeting people and playing and transmitting good vibes through music. For me, it's perfect. I know that for some other people, maybe hell, So it's a choice of life, and everyone is different, and everyone has their,
Yeah, and it's all about defining your personal path and being happy about it. You left the corporate world, and to be honest, you've started from scratch. If you think about it, already being a grown-up, but also it must feel different when you are 20 or 21 and you are entering, let's say, a different world, and you're like, I'm there, I'm ready for everything, I can do everything. Exactly. But starting from scratch, when you have a kid, when you are a mother, when you already have had a successful career where everybody respected you, you were well paid, you already had this authority.
Yes.
And then nothing. Starting from scratch. How did it feel?
Well, at some moments amazing, at some moments terrible. In many moments, at least I have the awareness of my value, in a sense that I know that, for example, in a few days I'm going to Riyadh, to Saudi Arabia for this conference, and I know that I am a DJ who can comfortably sit in front of a microphone and talk, which is not common. A lot of DJs, they're just, they go, they perform, and then they're very shy, or they can't do public speaking, or they don't have a strategic vision. They don't have the skills that I think, Google, Apple, etc. have given me. So I am aware of the fact that I have a certain, let's call it seniority, also leadership, that I think I've developed through the corporate world. But also, a lot of times I got disorientated, as I said, and I felt totally lost or not appreciated even, thinking, how is it possible that with all the hard work I'm putting, this agency doesn't want to represent me, or this club doesn't want me to play, or this person treats me badly, this person doesn't even answer my messages. It happens daily, but I think it happens with, anything, and it happens with all entrepreneurs. So now I'm kind of betting again when I get, you're laughing.
That says it all.
Yeah.
But I know that you're actually spending a lot of your time talking about the importance of this self-confidence for anyone who is starting anything from scratch. But did you personally have this self-confidence when you, let's say, made this transition?
So, in general, I've been working a lot on the self-confidence. That's for sure, because I've always been very self-critical. I've always thought, I'm not good enough, I have an imposter syndrome. Throughout the years, also thanks to Google and this workshop that I have been a facilitator of called I'm Remarkable. I think we've done it together maybe also.
No, we haven't, but I've heard about it.
We need to do it, yes.
We will.
It's a workshop about developing, self-confidence in a sense that you can, you're learning techniques to talk about your achievements in the workplace and beyond. And you do that without being, scared of being judged. For me, it was super hard, earlier to kind of write on my LinkedIn, I'm thrilled to announce the typical stuff that you see on LinkedIn. Now, of course, I do it in my own way and a bit less, boring, to be honest. Yeah. But I would say, hey, this is my flyer with the gigs that I'm about to do. Like before, for me, it would be even difficult to share this kind of information and say, look, I'm about to play at blah, 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 blah. I would feel like, people are going to think that I'm bragging. They're going to think like, they're going to judge me, or they're going to think like, she's not good enough, whatever, The more you do it, the more you get confident. Yeah. So it's something that I have been training as if you go to the gym. You don't see the results immediately, but the more you do it, the more you post on whatever about your achievements, or you talk about your achievements, the easier it gets. And then this has helped me also, going back to your question, with making the decision of leaving. When I left last year Google, I was like, I'm going to write down the things that make me remarkable, I am, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. I am taking this risk. I am, a mother, and I'm giving my daughter an example. It was hard for me to even write down these things. I was like, am I really giving my daughter an example?
Which kind of an example?
But now, by the way, kids, the new fashion is that everyone wants to become a DJ. When I was a kid, everyone wanted to be a football player, and now it's the DJ. So I can see how proud Sofia is of the fact that her mom is a DJ. And I have a gig in Milan in December, 19th of December. And I promised her she's going to come with me for a bit to listen to mommy play. And I think it's, she's very excited about it.
Maybe work somewhere there.
No, I mean, it's going to be an early gig, very safe. My mother also is come, so it's not going to be like an intense festival, whatever.
But judging from what you say, like self-confidence is not an inborn trait. It's something that you develop. And it's kind of like a byproduct of training.
For me, yes. Because I was always very shy and very reserved. And I know that it may look like surprising to you. Yes.
Yeah, even to me. And I've known you for years.
I am a sociable person, but when it comes to acknowledging the things that I am proud of, I don't, I've always felt uncomfortable with admitting them even to myself. Imagine telling them to the world.
But I think this is the base of self-confidence as well, because when you start to acknowledge things that are good about you, that actually gives you this self-confidence,
Yes, and it's, everyone is different again, and it depends on the way you were raised. For example, I mean, I love my parents, but my father has always been extremely critical of a lot of things. So because of him being very critical, I was like, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing this well. And also, Italy is a country where women may get judged very easily for anything. So I grew up thinking women are not good enough. And to some extent, this helped me because I was like, no, I'm actually going to prove the world that women are good enough.
Yes.
But also, I was always...
This is like the fuel that you work with.
Exactly. And I was like, now,
I'll show you guys from Liguria.
Exactly. No, but that's exactly like that. So, yes, I think that, some people are born more self-confident than others. And I see that also from the children in Sofia's school or even kindergarten.
Yeah.
Some kids, they have no fear, they know they believe in themselves. But the majority, I believe, doesn't have that much of self-confidence, and you need to train that. And it may be due to traumas, to the way you're born, to anything,
Yeah.
So you need to
it's
train
an
that.
interesting thing because you've mentioned that your dad was really critical and you are a mother. Sophia is 8. I'm a mother as well. My son is 5. And do you think there is a way for us as parents to make our children grow more self-confident?
Well, I am telling Sophia when she does things well. I am, telling her.
You should have done it better.
No. Actually, that's the thing. Yeah, that I got criticized so much
Yes.
when I was a kid that I always had this fear of judgment, and that's not what I want Sophia to have. Of course, sometimes they need to be told off if they do something wrong. Yeah, but. I think you actually should stimulate them to believe in themselves. If they look pretty, you look pretty, I never heard that when I was a kid. Like, they never, maybe sometimes my mom, but I always felt like, yeah, maybe, I don't look pretty. Even small things like that, as a girl, they can have a big impact. So now I'm telling Sophia, well done, you're very smart. You have done, she built a cube the other day with some drawings, etc. I was like, wow, you're very smart. So that she believes that she's smart.
Yes.
Yeah. So small things like that, I'm trying to help her. Now, as everyone, I think I make my mistakes. I'm trying to be the best possible, but I'm trying to.
An idea came to my mind because, I think it's also very important to support people around you because sometimes they are really shy about sharing the ideas they have or the passions that might kind of occur in the future, and they voice it, but sometimes people, they don't even know it, but they're so critical of everything, so they're like, oh, just like forget about it, like Google, who lives Google or whatever. So it's really important sometimes not to, let's say, break this from the start and kind of like maybe give some support towards the ideas that people share with you.
Yeah, that's why,
and especially with kids.
With kids, 100%. And if you spot any talents, make sure you kind of nurture them. Luckily, I had my grandmother that was a piano, teacher. So she spotted the fact that I did this thing of music, and I was constant every day at my grandparents' place playing the piano. And my grandfather actually one day he came there and told me, "You're so talented. You're gonna be a great pianist." I was like, "Yes, I'm gonna be a great musician." But I remember it, you see. Yes. And now I'm like, you see, I'm proving that I can be a good musician because my grandfather told me that day. So, it's important. And also when you're adult, it's important to support each other. And that's one thing that I think I'm kind of trying to show also with Lazic. Lazic is a kind of a growth program for artists, let's say. It's not only a label, it's also this kind of, machine that I have created to let artists support each other and feel that they can grow. Because my job at Google, the last job I did a lot of roles, etc. My last role was about this program called Grow with Google, giving digital skills to people and companies to grow online. And for me, the nicest part of the job was to see the success stories of people. So, with Google, we would find the guy with the bakery that thanks to whatever, educational program at Google, managed to bring his bakery online and find new customers, whatever. So I was seeing really the people because I was going also on the field to see them and how happy they were about, how they grow. So I was like, I can bring this to music as well because I have this in me. I feel like I'm a bit empowering, like I can help.
You are. I've been always very grateful to you because you were always there for me, like even just like with your smile.
Thank you. And I really enjoy seeing people like flourish. So it's something that makes them happy, makes me happy. So everyone is happy, perfect. And we're creating something good for the world. So that's what is behind the whole idea of Lazic, to let people, sometimes they're given a chance. And I know many people are telling me, you're so kind that you gave me the chance to release on your label. Look, you make good music. I don't see why the world should not know about you. right? So it's as
Yeah,
easy
but a
as
lot
that.
of people
Yeah.
feel competitive. And a lot of people like, why should I give floor to you if that may kind of be hindering my position, you know?
Well, it comes back because what people think is that, you need to give me something back. I actually, just last night, actually, one guy came to me after my gig and he told me, I came here because you were played very well at Soundwaves, this festival, and I love your music, but you don't understand the impact you're bringing with your label. I'm like, seriously? So people see that, yeah. You don't. So honestly, I'm also growing, and the reputation of my project is growing because I'm giving the chances to people. So maybe they're not giving me something back immediately, but that's not what I need now. And I actually don't need much, if not to just feel accomplished. But I know that it's also growing, the project, thanks to the talent of these people. So, in the end, it comes back in other ways.
Yeah. Let's talk about talent.
Yes.
You mentioned this word, and for me, it always has been very hard. Like, if you talk about success in creative industries, like, what is the percentage of talent there for success? Is it more about the hard skills? Is it more about the soft skills? Like, what really matters from your point of view?
Yeah, that's a great question because this kind of marketing course and tools that I am launching now as part of Lazic come from the main insight that most DJs focus on the technical skills and they overlook the soft skills, while I believe that soft skills are important. Not as much as technical skills, but they're very important as well. I believe that the ratio, at least for DJs, it's 70% technical skills and 30%...
70, that's a lot.
Yes, but because, now technology allows you to kind of fake it, and it's full of like fake DJs, and I'm kind of, against that because I believe you must have the skills to build a story as a DJ, to play well. By technical, I don't mean only learning how to spin the music and how to transition. I mean also having studied music and building a story and knowing how to keep, a certain dance floor engaged, adapt to different styles depending on where you are. So it's a lot about that part, similar to a doctor, giving you a prescription based on what they studied and what they can do as doctors. The same applies to DJ. So that's the technical part, most difficult, most demanding. And then the 30% is what I think has allowed me to emerge as a DJ, which is all that mix of skills that I developed during the
Corporate.
Apple Google days, yes, which is leadership, strategic thinking, so knowing where you want to go in X amount of years, not in 2 months. Most DJs, they're like, where I want to be in 2 months. No, you need to think in 2 years.
Ibiza.
But they don't have that strategic thinking, or maybe they have it, but they don't know how to structure things. So first of all, I believe you need to believe in yourself, and then you have the strategic thinking and way to plan your goals, and then all the marketing, pure marketing, like branding, what's your DJ name, do you have professional pictures, do you have a website or a place where people can find you, do you have a press kit, like all that stuff. Again, most DJs don't even know what it is about, or if they have it, it's, in my opinion, of like low quality. So I think it is important to kind of take care of also that marketing and communication part, and that's why all this branding and marketing academy I'm launching is helping in there. So to help DJs build these skills.
Last topic I wanted to discuss with you is being a working mom.
Yes.
Sophia is 8. Mark is 5. My startup is 5 years old as well. So I make a joke that I have 2 kids.
True.
Twins. I've interviewed a lot of moms, actually. And from what I've understood, the second name of every mother is like the feeling of guilt. How do you have it at all? How do you, fight with that, if that's worth fighting? Or how does it work with you, motherhood and working as a full-time DJ and traveling around the world?
Honestly, sense of guilt is something that every mother will have forever. And I had it when I was, I just had Sophia. I was with her 24/7. I have it now that I spend a lot of time also traveling. So it's something that I know that I'm going to have, regardless of how much time I spend with her. But you can manage it. Like, for example, today I've been in Dubai, 12, 13 hours, and I'm flying back immediately to London. And in 3 days, I need to be in Saudi, which is next door. So everyone has told me, why do you need to go back to London? Well, I want to be with my daughter. So it requires that extra strength and effort to be able to balance motherhood and your career. So as any job. But, it's something that I will always have. I will always have the sense of guilt. And actually, one of the reasons why I had this dark period in October was due to the fact that I felt like I had traveled a lot, during the last months, and I was feeling guilty towards Sofia. But now I see things a bit clearly. I'm like, actually, I'm a good mother, no matter what, every day of the week. Okay, not today because I played on a Sunday, but normally I play on a Friday and Saturday. So I'm back on Sunday. Most of the times I'm back on Sunday morning very early to spend the Sunday with them. Every Monday to Friday I bring her to school no matter what. Wake up early. I spend time with her. Like I organize my time in a way that at least I feel like I'm dedicating the right amount to Sofia. And again, I know that at least I'm giving her a good example. And this thing that I can see how much she likes the fact that I'm kind of inspiring her as a mother instead of being unhappy. I could be at home most of the day and doing something that doesn't make me happy. I don't think I would make her so happy and inspired as I'm making her now, even if I'm not always there every day.
Yeah, I like this attitude. And I think to be honest, it's a way. It's a path that you walk. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you think, oh, I'm actually a bad mother. But when you have this words said by your child that, oh, you're a role model, I'm actually proud of my mom, that changes the way you think about it.
Yes, I think I'm a better mother, I feel, a better wife, now that I know that thanks to my husband supporting me making the decision and supporting me daily with this crazy thing of being a DJ and giving the example of my daughter, I feel I'm a better mother and I'm a better wife and I'm more stable as a person. Before, maybe I could spend more time at home and I was anxious, nervous. And was I giving them a right, experience as a wife or as a mother? I don't think so. So now I feel better.
When we were talking about the key insights from the corporate world, you mentioned leadership, strategic thinking, right? Being visionary in terms of you being your own product. What has maternity taught you?
Time management. Time management for sure, because you need to learn to make the most of every single second. Like, I don't know if you went through this, but when Sophia was just born, I didn't have time to have a shower. I don't know if you went through the same.
Same. I think all the mothers are the same.
Yeah, and then when they grow, that are like 2-3 years old, and they follow you, they even follow you if you go to the toilet. So you don't have time to do anything. You don't have me time, etc. So you need to learn. I have 5 minutes free. Or I just dropped her at kindergarten. Now I can do very quickly.
An hour. It's a life.
Exactly. So time management, for sure, the best skill.
Yeah.
I think also the fact that you know that you need to educate someone else. And by education, I don't mean like teaching you history or geography, whatever. Of course, that's also important. By education is also instilling these things. Like, everyone may have traumas from their parents, even if they try to do their best for you. I'm trying to show Sofia that as a woman, you can achieve anything you want. You can do whatever you want. If you have a purpose or if you find your purpose, go for it. So that's, I think, a sort of an education that I'm giving her, which is, again, about more soft skills and not the hard skills that you would expect to teach to kids.
It's more about the mindset, maybe.
The mindset, yes. Yeah. So that's something that I think I'm teaching her. And I have many friends that are victims of the typical, Mediterranean type of mentality where women are expected to stay at home and cook and, do the laundry. And by the way, I don't cook. I'm not good at cooking at all. I like to keep the house tidy, etc. But, that's a model that I think, and I believe most of women will agree with me, doesn't make necessarily women happy unless they feel that that's their purpose. Because I have some friends who have this purpose to be the mother staying at home, taking care of the family and the kids. But there are also females and women that are not having this purpose or they don't feel accomplished by doing them. So do you want them to be unhappy and do that because society expects you to do that? Or you want them to be accomplished and then as a reflection of that, be better wives and mothers.
Yeah. But I like this. Whatever the society is waiting from you, women always have a choice.
Yes.
And we should know that we have a choice.
Yes, there will also be judgment because, it may happen. Luckily, I feel very supported by other women. And sometimes I'm trying to also motivate them. Like, I have a lot of female friends who are mothers telling me, maybe once I'm going to manage to come to your gig, but I always am at home. And I know that they say that feeling sorry for themselves, that they would like to step out of their comfort zone and come to my gig, even something that's small, just going out one night, because maybe they have that sense of guilt that they need to be at home with, the kids and the family. So I hope that in this sense I kind of, give a bit of an example to others that you can do it. I'm constantly working on my, self-confidence and, trying to think that I'm doing the right choice. Luckily, I have a lot of support from women, which helps. And I never felt like judged. There may be people judge me. Let them judge. I mean, they're going to judge you if you do things. They're going to judge if you don't do things. Yeah. It's their problem.
But in general, they don't even think about anyone else apart from them.
It's true. Exactly.
And that's the thought that actually made me so free, because I spent so many years being so worried, like, what will people think about me? But in fact, they don't think about me at all.
True.
At all. They think about themselves, their problems, their kids, their jobs, their life purpose.
Exactly. In the end, everyone is focused on themselves.
Exactly.
I mean, still they may, people may say things about others, but I think that if they judge, that is a reflection of them not being 100% happy.
Yeah. So don't
they
take
need to see something in others
judgments on your...
No, because it's their own, something that doesn't work with them. So
yeah, I like it. All right, last question. I think you're a really good example of a woman who is following her passion, being a mother, a wife, an entrepreneur, a founder of a music label now, a DJ who is touring the world. But also, you at some point, you made this difficult decision to take this, how do you say it, leap of faith?
Yeah.
And to make a step into the unknown. Mm-hmm. What would you advise to yourself at the moment when you were thinking of doing that? When you were lost, when you were thinking, should I, shouldn't I?
I would advise myself to continue doing that. I know it sounds crazy because many people may say, it's crazy what you've done. But it gave me so much happiness, the fact that I've done it. It's actually teaching me that I should do this more often. I mentioned that my husband is a risk taker. I've always been a risk averse. And now I've actually learned to take small risks also daily,
So continuing taking risks.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't know, things are coming back again. Yeah, so I've actually embraced this way of doing things. I don't do it all the time, I don't like doing bungee jumping. I'm not going to do it, But still, taking small risks, potentially calculated risks when possible, and putting yourself out there. Stepping out of the comfort zone has always paid off in my life, always. I went to London when I was 18, new country. My family has always been based in Milan, speaking Italian, very traditional family. And I was the crazy one who went to London when I was 18, And so many things, so many good things have come from me moving to London. And then a lot of things that I've done, even leaving Apple, that, I finally got the job at Apple and I go to Nest, which was the bet at Google. Still, it paid off. So, a reflection that I have is, I know it can be intimidating in the first period, especially. But do it, because in the end, things are coming back somehow.
And maybe it's about the new experience that you're going to get. Maybe it's not the one you expected. It's better not to have any expectations at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, again, it hasn't been all amazing since when I left Google. A lot of, also, I've also had bad experiences and some moments of, lessons, let's call them this way.
Yes.
But let's be honest, also when I was at Google, when I was at Apple, there were also some down moments. It was not always the same. I mean, that's how life is.
Be honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. Continue taking little risks.
Yeah.
and being open for the new opportunities that come to your life.
Yes, be open to the opportunities and be ready to compromise. Like if for any reason, my project Lazic doesn't work out as I want, maybe I need to kind of, adjust it, or maybe I may need to do something else. Be ready. Like when I moved to London, I was 18 and I was studying, and most of my friends who had moved from Milan, they were just doing university and enjoying. Me, I was also doing 2 jobs to pay, for the bills, etc. So I was ready for that. So that comes with being ready to do the extra effort if it's needed or if things don't work the way they should. So, yeah.
But with responsibilities comes the freedom.
Yes, true.
I like it.
True.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna.
It was a pleasure.
Likewise.
Always. Throughout the years we've
Such
known
a
each
nice
other.
chat.
Thank you so much.